Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary in Phrases.
Today we're digging into material from SpeakDuo Lesson 1276. It's called How to Introduce Yourself and Get Hired, and it's based on a TED Talk by Rebecca Okamoto.
And just a quick note before we start, you can always go to SpeakDuo.com. It's a great place to meet new people from all over the world, practice on video calls, and, well, get more confident with your English speaking.
And this is definitely for the confident or soon-to-be confident learner. We're not doing hello, how are you today?
No, not at all.
This is about the lexicon you need for professional survival. We've got 8 key phrases that can really dictate how you're seen in those high-stakes moments.
Okay, let's jump straight in. The first one deals with a fear I think we've all had. The phrase is, to go blank.
Oh, yes.
The source material defines this as suddenly forgetting what to say or thinking of nothing. The example is, I went blank for a second, then I smiled and started with a simple sentence.
This is such a good place to start because it's about physiology, not just words. And I think we need to be really careful not to confuse going blank with, say, zoning out.
They do sound similar on the surface. Both involve a kind of silence.
They do, but what's happening inside is completely different. Zoning out is a lack of attention. You're bored. You're daydreaming. Your mind is somewhere else entirely. But going blank is a stress response. It's that amygdala hijack psychologists talk about. You're actually hyper-focused, you're maybe even terrified, and your brain's language center just shuts down.
So zoning out is you checking out. But going blank is you trying to check in so hard that the whole system crashes.
Precisely. Just imagine you're in a big job interview. The interviewer asks you something you absolutely know, but the pressure is so high that your mind just empties. You stare. You go blank.
That is the nightmare scenario.
It is. Or for a lot of our listeners, think about the IELTS speaking test, Part 2. You get that 1 minute to prepare.
Yeah.
The examiner's watching, the room is quiet, and suddenly you can't even think of the word for table. You just go blank. It's a total freeze.
So the strategy there is not to panic, but to just acknowledge it happened and reset.
Acknowledge and reset. It's an involuntary response, not a sign that you don't know your stuff.
Okay, so moving from the freeze to the recovery. Phrase number 2, to get to the point.
So important.
The lesson defines this as saying the most important idea quickly and clearly. The example they use is, instead of a long story, I got to the point and explained what I needed.
This is where I see a lot of advanced learners actually stumble. They have all this amazing vocabulary they want to show off, and they forget about the bluff method.
The bluff method?
Bottom line up front. It's a communication style from the military, actually. It's all about getting to the point immediately.
Right.
But I want to distinguish this from simply summarizing.
How so? A summary is just a short version.
It is, but a summary usually still follows the story. It has a beginning, a middle, and end. Just shorter. Getting to the point is about destroying that narrative structure to just deliver the core message. It's the opposite of beating around the bush.
I see. So summarizing preserves the story, but getting to the point just extracts the final piece of data.
Exactly. Think of a busy executive you catch in the hallway. They ask, how's the project going?
Yeah.
If you start talking about the meetings you had last week, you've lost them. They just want the answer. Green, yellow, or red. They are begging you to get to the point.
And in something like an IELTS exam.
Same principle. The examiner asks, do you like art? If you start with a long story about your childhood museum trips, you're not being responsive. You get to the point, yes, absolutely. And then you can explain why.
Which leads us to the tools for staying on track. Phrase 3 is a talking point. It's defined as a key idea you can mention to guide the conversation. Example, I prepared one talking point and it helped me stay confident.
I always feel like talking point is one of those terms people hear in the news, but they don't really use themselves.
It does sound a bit political, doesn't it? The politician stuck to her talking points.
It is political, but it's also deeply strategic, and we have to separate it from a simple topic.
Okay.
A topic is passive, like the environment is a topic, but our new recycling initiative will reduce waste by 20%. That's a talking point.
So a talking point has an agenda. It's designed to do something.
It has an agenda. It's a pre-packaged argument, a fact, a little story that you use as an anchor in the conversation.
If you're going into a salary negotiation, the topic is my pay.
Right.
But your talking point is, I increased my team's efficiency by 15% last quarter. You use that to steer the conversation where you want it to go.
That's a really crucial distinction. You're not just discussing things, you're deploying arguments.
You are. If you're nervous about an interview, don't just memorize random vocabulary. Prepare 3 or 4 solid talking points about your achievements. That way, whatever they ask, you can build a bridge back to your strengths.
This brings us to a related idea about what to include and what not to. Phrase 4 is to leave out the details. It means to skip the extra information and focus only on what matters. The source says, I left out the details and shared only the main message.
Now here's where I sometimes play devil's advocate. Isn't leaving out details just a polite way of saying lying by omission?
It can be a fine line, can it? But I think intent is everything here.
I agree. Omitting truths is done to deceive someone. But leaving out the details is actually done to help them. It's about managing their cognitive load. If you tell an executive everything, they'll remember nothing.
It's an act of editorial judgment, curation.
Exactly. You're a software engineer talking to the marketing team. If you start explaining the specific lines of code you changed, their eyes will just glaze over.
Right.
You're not being deceptive. You are respectfully leaving out the details that are irrelevant to them.
So, in a work context, it's about audience awareness.
And in an IELTS context, it's about coherence. If the question is to describe your favorite holiday, and you list every bus you took and what you ate for every meal, you're actually losing points. You have to leave out the details that don't move the main story forward.
And phrase 5 feels like the stylistic cousin of that idea, to keep it short and sweet.
I love this phrase.
It means to say something quickly and clearly without extra details. I kept it short and sweet, and suddenly everyone actually listened.
The sweet part of that idiom does so much work. It's crucial.
Why is that? Why not just say keep it short?
Because just being short can come across as aggressive. We have other words for that, like curt or blunt.
Ah, and those are negative.
Very negative. If your boss asks for an update and you're curt, you might be in trouble. But if you keep it short and sweet, you're being both efficient and pleasant. The sweetness is about the polite delivery.
So it implies you're respecting their time, but you're doing it with a smile.
Precisely. We've all been in that huge Zoom meeting where everyone has to introduce themselves.
Oh, the worst.
And there's always that one person who gives their entire life story.
And you can feel everyone else in the meeting just sighing.
Yes, don't be that person. Your name, your role, pass it on. Keep it short and sweet. It signals confidence.
Okay, let's shift to personal branding. Phrase 6, to stand out from the crowd, meaning to be noticeably different in a good way. The example, she stood out from the crowd because she explained her value in one clear line.
This is the ultimate goal in a job search, right? But we have to contrast it with its negative cousin, sticking out like a sore thumb.
That's a great comparison. Both mean you're being noticed.
But the reason is totally different. You stick out like a sore thumb when you're noticed for something bad. You wore the wrong thing. You said the wrong thing. But to stand out from the crowd, that's aspirational. That's the goal.
It's about differentiation.
Yes. In a pile of 100 resumes, 99 of them are going to look identical. They all say team player and hard worker.
Right.
How do you stand out from the crowd? Maybe it's a specific, quantifiable achievement. Maybe it's a cover letter that actually shows some personality.
Or for an English learner, it's using a wider range of vocabulary.
Absolutely. If you're in an exam and every other candidate is just saying good or bad, and you use words like exemplary or detrimental, you immediately stand out from the crowd. You're signaling you belong in a higher band.
Phase 7 takes that idea and gives it a commercial angle, a selling point. This is a feature or a strength that makes something attractive. My biggest selling point is that I simplify complex things for people.
I think the key nuance here is the difference between a strength and a selling point. People use them as synonyms, but they're not.
Strength is internal, about you.
Exactly. I am good at math is a strength. That's great for you. But nobody buys a strength. They buy a solution to their problem. A selling point is when you translate your strength into value for them.
So I am good at math becomes my quantitative skills can help reduce your department's budget waste by 10%.
Now you're talking. The 10% reduction, that is the selling point. The math skill is just the tool you use to get there. It's about reframing everything for the buyer or the employer.
That's a really powerful mindset shift.
It applies to everything. The strength of a new phone is its processor speed. The selling point is that your games won't lag. Always frame it for the end user.
And our final phrase, number 8, is about making a decision. A gut check. This is a moment when you honestly test your courage or your decision. The example, before I hit send on the message, I had a gut check and chose to be honest.
This is all about intuition. In business, we often talk about doing a sanity check.
Right, and a sanity check is logical. Do the numbers add up? Is the date on this report correct?
Exactly. A sanity check is for your brain. A gut check is for your stomach, for your nervous system. It's that physical, visceral feeling. You're asking, does this feel right? Ethically, am I being brave enough here?
It's that sleep on it moment before a big choice.
It is. Imagine you get a great job offer. The money is good, logic check, passed. The commute is fine, sanity check, passed. But something about the manager just feels off. You do a gut check, and your stomach is telling you, don't take this job. You should probably listen to it.
Or it could be about courage, too. You're about to ask for a raise. You've prepared all your talking points. But just before you knock on the door, you pause, take a deep breath, and do a quick gut check to find the nerve to actually do it.
It's that final, crucial internal audit.
All right, we've covered the whole spectrum, from the panic of going blank to the intuition of a gut check. Now, let's see if we can really lock these phrases into your active vocabulary.
It is quiz time. I will read a question and 3 options, A, B, and C. And I'll be sure to repeat the key phrase in the question itself.
And as always, feel free to pause the podcast here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
Okay, let's start. Question 1. What is the immediate sensation when you go blank during a high-stakes presentation? Is it, option A, you feel a sudden surge of confidence that clears your mind of all doubt? Option B, you suddenly lose your train of thought and cannot recall what to speak? Or option C, you decide to stop speaking voluntarily to check your notes carefully?
Think about that involuntary freeze response we discussed. What does it feel like to go blank?
And the correct answer is option B. When you go blank, it's that involuntary stress response where your mind just empties.
All right, next one.
Question 2. If a colleague asks you to get to the point, what are they essentially requesting? Option A. They want you to bypass the background context and state the main conclusion. Option B. They are asking you to provide detailed evidence to support your argument. Or option C. They want you to physically move to a specific location in the room.
Remember the bluff method. Bottom line up front. What does it really mean to get to the point?
The answer is option A. They want the bottom line fast. They want you to get to the point.
Okay.
Question 3. How does a talking point function in a strategic negotiation or meeting? Option A. It acts as a moment of silence where participants reflect on the agenda. Option B. It serves as a pre-planned topic designed to steer the discussion favorably. Or option C, it is a specific physical location where the conversation takes place.
Think about the difference between a general topic and a strategic talking point. Go ahead and pause if you need to.
The correct answer is option B. A talking point is your pre-planned anchor to control the conversation's direction.
Ready for the next one?
Let's do it. Question 4. Why might a manager decide to leave out the details during a brief executive summary? Option A, to hide critical information that might cause the project to be rejected. Option B, to encourage the team to research the missing facts independently later. Or option C, to ensure the audience focuses solely on the broader objectives and goals.
Remember our discussion about intent. Is it about deception or is it about clarity when you leave out the details?
And the answer is option C. It's about respecting the listener's focus by concentrating on what's most important.
Okay, halfway there.
Question 5. What characterizes a speech that manages to keep it short and sweet? Option A, it is concise, pleasant, and delivers the core message without delay.
Option B, it is abbreviated but lacks the necessary depths to be fully understood. Or option C, it is filled with compliments to ensure the audience feels appreciated.
Remember that crucial sweet part. Why is it different from just being curt or blunt? Think about what it means to keep it short and sweet.
The answer is option A. It's that perfect combination of being brief and being pleasant.
Next.
Question 6. In a competitive job market, what does it truly mean to stand out from the crowd? Option A, to physically distance yourself from other applicants in the waiting room. Option B, to possess unique qualities that make you more memorable than others. Or option C, to aggressively challenge the interviewer to prove your dominance.
Think about positive differentiation. How do you positively stand out from the crowd?
The answer is option B. It's all about having those unique, positive qualities that make you memorable.
All right. 2 more.
Question 7. When marketing a product, what is considered a primary selling point? Option A, a specific feature that persuades customers that the item is worth buying. Option B, the price at which the product breaks even in terms of production cost. Or option C, the location where the transaction between buyer and seller occurs.
Remember translating an internal strength into an external benefit. What is a selling point?
The correct answer here is option A. The selling point is the feature framed as a benefit that persuades the customer.
And the last one?
Question 8. If you rely on a gut check before making a decision, what are you doing? Option A, you are consulting with medical professionals to ensure you are healthy. Option B, you are trusting your honest, instinctive feeling about a situation. Or option C, you are analyzing the statistical data to ensure zero probability of error.
Is this about your brain or your stomach? Your logic or your intuition? Feel free to pause one last time to think about what a gut check is.
And the answer is option B. A gut check is trusting that visceral, instinctive feeling about a decision.
And that brings us to the end of our discussion. Hopefully, you all passed your own mental gut check on those phrases.
I hope so, because these aren't just vocabulary words. They're really the tools of professional confidence. Mastering them is how you learn to stand out from the crowd.
And a final reminder, if you want to practice these phrases in a real conversation, you can scan the QR code in the source material or just look up SpeakDuo on the iPhone App Store.
Go out there and make your next English conversation count.
Thanks for listening to The Critique. We'll see you next time.